to Canva with Christina. I thank you for joining me today. Today we're just going to talk about how to upgrade Canva templates, the templates that they already have. So we're going to work smarter, not longer. So Canva already has a ton of templates already in their system. So we're simply, from our home screen, going to type in invite and see what it brings up for us. We're essentially just looking for the layout and style of the template is what we're actually looking for. And we're going to make it a mobile video to just add a little razzle dazzle to it. It's just like doing a regular Canva template. It's just going to have a little movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in wedding invitations because we are going to do a wedding invite. I know a lot of you guys want to get into the wedding stuff too as well. So what I'm doing now is I am simply just looking through the different invites that Canva already has. And what I'm looking for is I'm simply looking at what the fonts, the text, the layout of the invitation. The background does not matter. Once you pick one, you can scroll down and you can see that they have other ones that are very similar to the one that you had. So you can choose one of those or you can customize this template. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to customize this template. And like I said, don't pay attention so much to the background because we are going to get rid of the background. So the background does not matter. We will focus on the video portion of it later on at the end of the video. So I just am on my basic Canva canvas where I can see all of my elements laid out for me. So one of the first things that we're going to take care of course, like I said, we do not want the background. So we're simply going to hit the three dots, detach the video from the background, and simply just trash it, throw it away, delete it. We don't need it. So now we literally just have just our text on the screen, and that's what we were looking for. The template we're pretty much already done. Half your work is done. You didn't have to do anything, and you're 75% done with your project. And that's the kind of things we want to get to. So we're going to start with the couple's name. I'm going to resize it using the circle. The circle allows you to resize the whole element. The bars allow you to resize just that side. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and group the bottom text together. That way right now I can move it around and do things to it without having to worry about each piece of it. And it'll just save time not moving each piece that is already together. It's already aligned. It looks good. We don't need to mess with it. We can come in and you can type your own information in. You can do it now. You can do it later. It doesn't matter. So we are going to start by playing with the colors. And I do not know what color this invite is going to be. So I'm really feeling the color brown. So I'm just going to go with brown. And that's just simply the, the shadow effect. And so what we're going to do is we are going to look up a video of couples so that we can have our own background. You probably have your own picture of a couple or your own video that you would like to add. So you would then at this time, you would just hit upload and then add that video to our canvas. So yeah, I'm just going to head over to the elements section. I typed in couples getting married, hit video, because I know we want to do the upgraded video to add a little razzle dazzle to our, I guess you would say our mobile invite. And I'm simply just going to drop it. You can see, I dropped it directly into the background versus just dropping it on as an element. So I'm adding it to the background. And you can either move it to the back by the layers, or you can hit arrange and simply hit to the back, and it'll also send it to the back as well. So you can do it either way. No way is the right way or the wrong way. It's just whatever is easiest to you. And we're going to double click the lock because that's going to lock that back screen for us. That way we can work with the text without even worrying about the back screen. It won't interfere. So what we're going to do is I did select all, and then we're going to group the text, and that way we can change the colors all at once. We don't have to individually click each link. We're working smarter, not longer. So I went with the blue, and so now I'm simply selecting the text at the bottom. Font of my bottom text. And with that is, I just really wanted it to be more visible because like I said, these are going to be 9 times out of 10, they're going to be viewed from someone's phone. So you do want to try to select a text and a size that will be legible to read for people. You don't want to use a font that is too decorative. When you use a font that is too decorative, then it is hard for people to read that font. So I'm also going to just add the lift to just, my razzle dazzle, especially because the back of this video is so dark. It's giving Sleepless with Seattle. I don't mind it. But we're now going to work on the bottom side of our text. And I'm simply going to I'm trying to simply just select the bottom text and not the together text. And my computer is, of course, giving me a hard time because I'm going to change that font as well. Just to see how legible it is, whether it's too decorative. And because even sometimes with the color, depending on the color that you use, it can also make it hard to read. So I'm going to, of course, add the lift effect again, and you can change the intensity. It's not that noticeable on this particular video that we're using, but on maybe like a lighter color background, the lift will be more visible. So for our razzle dazzle, I'm simply just going to select the dates, and I'm going to change the color to white just to make the date pop. We know most people don't pay attention, so the date will definitely stick out if nothing else. I also changed the font at the top as well, just so it'll pop. Like I said, I like the couple's name to stand out. This is for them and their special day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to highlight all of the text. And of course, 7,525th time, I am going to change the color. And so you could play around with the color on the color wheel. You would simply just double click the color that you've already selected. And either you can type in a number if you know exactly what color that you want to use, or you can just play around with it and use it that way. I did make it a little bit more transparent. Like I said, the bottom of our video is a bit dark. So I did want the text to to be more visible. And I want to add another text box. So I simply just duplicated one of the text box that I have, and I'm just going to add a RSVP. And with the RSVP, I will do another video for RSVPs live, because you can do the RSVPs and they can click a link and be able to have a Google sheet where they can add their reservation in real time. And so that'll also save you a little time as well. That's a fun thing to have on there. It's the live RSVP. You don't have to have a whole nother program or anything like that. It's just a basic Google form that you'll be able to add to this program. But again, like I said, I'll do a video maybe later this month to show you how you would do that. So next, you can stop right here, and all of this is perfectly fine. But if you want to take it a little bit further, we're going to add some other elements to it to just, a little razzle dazzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my elements and I'm going to look for a flower. I've already got the little tan brown thing going on. So I'm going to go ahead and look for flowers that are in that color range. I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm just going to play around with it and see. And now you could just write tan flowers. And it will just bring up tan flowers, but I wasn't sure if I was going to stick with the tan, so that's why I just simply typed in flowers. So I am going to mess around with the transparency. I'm going to duplicate it and maybe add it again and tuck it into the text at the bottom. I like for the text and the elements to kind of be like sandwiched together, kind of like a little puzzle piece where, the text is kind of fitting into the element, but not necessarily touching it. So I think that looks pretty good. And the video will still play in the background and your flowers would be still stagnant. And so you can stop right there. But of course, I need more razzle dazzle. So I'm going to change it and see what else I can find underneath the magic recommendations. And I'm going to, of course, still stick with my tan. I found this like a piece of torn paper, still gives me the same vibe, rustic feel. And I'm simply just going to spread it. I was thinking about just spreading it across that top, but I'm not feeling it. Remember, none of this is permanent. You can always change it, take away from it, however you want to do it. So I'm going to now just take it across the full bottom so that it gives it a different feel. I'm going to go to the color, because for some elements, you can change the color of the element. And so for this one, I simply just chose a lighter color. It just gave me a better feel. That's it. So I'm going to select my my text, and I'm simply going to bring it to the front so it is now visible. And I'm going to change the color, of course, so it pops and it is now visible from the tan that I already had it. But again, like I said, the text, the font, I'm going to change the color and the font probably, 5 more million times before the end of this video. I can't help it. So I guess you could put in the comments, how many more times do you think I'm going to change this font and the color of this text before the end of the video? I'm pretty sure it's going to be near 6 million, but we will see. So I'm playing around with it, and a lot of it is just going off the vibe of your video. And I'm going to add a shadow to my flowers just so it won't bleed into it, because it's brown on brown, tan on tan, and that is a little boring, a little stagnant. So I will play around with the blur amounts and the color just to kind of get a feel for what it will look like. And like I said, you can stop right here. You can be done. That's it. Leave it be. It's wonderful if this is what you like. But you don't have to. We can keep going. I'm going to hit play to just preview, kind of look at what it would look like once we're finished. And like I said, that just gives you a good judge of everything. So, of course, I am ready to move on from this. I'm not feeling it anymore, of course. So I'm just going to simply just go hit the trash can, delete the elements. Once you select it, you could also just hit delete on your computer as well. So this time I'm going to go for a rose. Let's brighten it up a bit since it was kind of the bland tan thing going on. And so I simply just typed in roses. I am going to click a rose that I like. And I really liked the reflection element on this. And I will probably do a video as well for reflection, because it is very easy to accomplish with any element or any photo, really. There is an app in our toolbar on the left-hand side that allows you to create that same look or feel, but this one already came with it. And with our dark background, I just thought it gave it a nice little pop and a touch. So right now what I'm going to do is I selected all of my text, of course, is grouped, so that help keep it together. I am now going to go to my colors. I'm going to choose the color red that is pulled directly from the rows, so it'll match more, and see how that looks. So it did change all the font. I think it looks nice. I'm also going to go back in and to the effect, and I'm going to change that shadow that we had put on earlier. And I'm also going to do the same thing. We're already in the effects part. So once you click on another text, you don't have to go back out. You can just click on another text and you're able to work with the effects right there. You don't have to go out, click the text, go back in. You can just do it all right then. Click whatever text that you want to use to do the effect on, and it's very simple. So now again, 7,599 times that I am yet again messing with the color of this. So I did the white to match the name, just trying to see how it'll look, just playing around and seeing what works. So I'm going to pick another font for the top layer as well. Again, 10th million time. So I'm going to resize it, and I'm also going to click our capitalization button. So that made all of the font go down to uncapitalized. When you use regular basic text, a lot of time it does look good for all the letters to be capitalized. But once you do, say, a handwritten or calligraphy text, it normally looks better if it is lowercase versus uppercase. And so now I am going to change the position of the text, because like I said, I like it to fit together like a little puzzle piece. So I'm just going to use my align tool at our top toolbar to see where it will fit into my flower, because I kind of want it to sit into my flower is what I'm going for. But it is a little long. I could make just break it down to make it 3 rows, but I just didn't. I just went with the 2 rows because the 3 rows probably would have tucked in there a little bit better. So I'm going to zoom in a little just so I can kind of see better on how it's looking to get tucked in. And so I'm also going to change the alignment to see if maybe if I do right hand justified, if that'll tuck into the rows a little bit better, because I do like the look of the handwritten font with the rows. It kind of just makes it real classic. It sticks with my little Sleepless in Seattle vibe that I got going on. So now I'm going to just try to put the rows higher and maybe put the text below it to see how it looks. And like I said, you can just experiment with it. It's what works best for your invitation or your program or whatever you're working with. You can play around with it. Nothing is permanent. There is a backspace button and it'll take you back to how it looks. So if it don't look good, hit the backspace, try it again, undo 1,000,000 times if you would like. That's okay. Undoing is allowed here. Nothing is permanent. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change the layout, because we've already used that layout before. And so an easy way to get another layout is simply going to be pull the layout from another template that Canva already has. So what we're going to do is use what Canva already has is to add another template. Simply click another page and go to the top left of our toolbar and just hit template. And you can scroll through the templates that they have. You can at the top put in an idea for a template and the AI will generate one. But like I said, we're just looking at the fonts. Everything else on the template, it does not matter because we're only going to use the text. That's all we're going to use. Nothing else. So we are going to go back to our main canvas. We will work in the video layers later. So simply we're going to hit our second page, click the template that we want, the new template. It will import it onto that second page. And I am simply going to select all of the font off of that template that I like. Simply, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it to page 1. You will have to just click any random element and then click paste. If you just click on the screen, it's not going to paste. So just click an element. It's okay. Hit paste and it'll add it to it. So I'm going to work with the different positions and alignments again. 22 million times I'm gonna I'm gonna change the alignments, and you can hand change them. You can use the circle dots in the middle of them to change them, or you can use the panel on our left hand side toolbar to change them. And again, I am going to change the font again, just because I did not think it wasn't, I couldn't read it as well as I would like to. Again, like I said, these will be viewed on most of the time a mobile phone. So you do want to make sure that it is legible. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I can play around with the font once again. Sorry, I literally just froze. I was like, wait, what am I doing again? That I've changed the font and the font color so many times. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I did decide on the left-hand justified alignment. I'm going to resize it using our circle, which resizes it all together. And I'm going to select all of my font again. I'm, of course, getting ready to change the color to see if I cannot just, I really like the red rose and the lettering underneath it. So I'm just kind of trying to go with that. And as you can see, it looks very hard to read. And I think this is the easiest way for you to understand that certain fonts just don't go good with certain things. The font looks very hard to read. So I am going to change the font again, but again, so I'm going to select everything. The font, I'm going to test it. Let's test it and look. And as you can see, yeah, I can't see it. Let's blow it up a little bit. See how it will look if someone's viewing on their phone? You can barely really see that. So let's exit out of our preview version. And I'm going to add one more text. So I'm going to go back to my other invitation, copy it. And then I'm going to paste it again. Click something, click an element, paste this. And I am going to, of course, change the font. And the document fonts, which are the fonts that are already being used on your document, are going to be at the top of the text. It's going to be at the top of the text. And so we're simply going to change our font of our name after we've added the extra text box to the top. We're just going for a different vibe for this one. And again, like I said, you can stop at any time. You don't have to continue. I'm going to change the blur so the red is not so in your face, I guess you could say. It's just a light undertone shadow effect. And again, I'm going to go back to my text again. And once I get the text worked out, I'm going to move the text because I'm really honestly just not feeling it. And like I said, it really is just, I'm not feeling it there. There's really no way to even say it. I want a different look. So now I'm going to just move it to the bottom and lift the rows up a little bit to just give it like a different layout. So when we zoom in, it does make it look a little bit better. It's more legible right there. I don't know why, but this is what we're going to go with. I like this layout a lot better. But like I said, there was nothing wrong with the other layout. You can keep the other layout. It doesn't matter. There's no wrong answers. It's what you like, what looks good to you. So now I'm got my bottom layout done, and I want to work on something new with the couple's name to make their names stand out since the rose is so bold. So what I'm going to do is make it a little more informal. I'm going to take away the last names, and that way I can make the couple's name a little bit larger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add the name to the first text box. I'm just going to throw away, trash the second text box. I'm going to play around with it just to kind of see what it looks like. Is it giving me what I'm feeling? You know, I need to feel the vibe on it. That's what I need to do. And honestly, this right here, I think this looks perfectly fine. That looks nice. You can stop. You don't always have to keep going. Please remember that. You can stop. So I'm going to work with the color to also make it stand out. I want the couple's name to stand out with the rose. And see, with the dark background, I'm feeling that. That looks good. That looks nice. Like I said, you can leave it here. You can leave it, but I'm not. So I'm going to swap the rose with the name. And like I said, I really like for my elements to fit like puzzle pieces. So I feel like that rose sitting on top of their name, it really just fits together well. I'm going to enlarge the rose. And like I said, the dots enlarge the full element. The bars on the top and the sides, it will enlarge that side of the element. So, of course, I am not satisfied with this font. I want to try to find another font that will bring out the couple's name. And like I said, you don't have to do this part at all. If you like the original font that you picked or that you worked with, just go with that. I do have a lot of extra fonts because, of course, you know, you can download your own fonts into Canva. Maybe I'll do a video on how to download and where to go to get more fonts for your Canva. I think I might do that. If you guys want to see how to do that, if you don't know how to do that or never did that before, let me know in the comment section and I'll make a video for that because I know that's something not a lot of people have did. And especially depending on what type of canvas you're working on, you might want to, you know, have a certain font. But like I was saying, with this element, there is a reflections app. And again, we will go over the reflection app later. You can actually use that for any element. And so we're going to check out what we got going. This is looking good. And I did just delete the second page because we don't need the second page now. We simply just used it. we simply just used it for what it had. But yeah, now we're going to razzle dazzle again. Y'all, my text, the way I talk, I know it's late 80s, early 90s. Y'all got to look over me. I'm sorry. But what we're going to do is, like I said, Canva has audio already pre-done for you. They are getting better. They have little names now and, you know, now adding to it. Not saying they got a great selection, but hey, it is what it is. So what we can do is, this is a wedding. We are simply just going to scroll through and we're going to go to the wedding section because they do actually have a wedding section. They have it broke down and we're going to listen to the different elements. And when you drop it on there, it's literally going to go to the timing of your video. So if your video is 10 seconds, it's only going to play 10 seconds. If your video is 30 seconds, it's only going to play 30 seconds. And we have a very short video, 11 seconds. So most of these songs will fit. And so we're going to test it, listen to how it sounds. And if it sounds good to you, bam, in there, go ahead and send it. But as you can see, the text is kind of doing its own thing because we haven't did anything with the video. So now we're going to work with the video layers at the bottom, and we're going to adjust the text and how we want the text. Like if we want the text to play the full video or half the video or come in and out of the video. So the first thing that I'm going to do is very simple. If you click on your element, each element will have its own layer, just like with anything else on your regular layers toolboard. And so I'm going to make all of the elements kind of start not at the beginning of the video, kind of in the middle of the video. And that way, the first thing you'll see is simply the couple's name, the video in the background, and the rose. Sleepless in Seattle, eat your heart out. Yes. So I'm simply just gonna adjust a little bit more, and I'm gonna play with the animation of the other text elements, and they have a lot of great elements for you to use for your animations. You can pick which one goes with your vibe. You can simply click it and it'll show you a real live view of what it would look like in your video. So that's what I do like. When you click on it, you can see what it's gonna do in your video. So I am going to go through and decide how I want it laid out. And I do like this kind of surprise element. So it's not going to come in all the way. It's going to kind of fade itself into the video, which I think because it's like a sunset, it does give me my razzle dazzle. And I'm going to select all three of my text boxes at the bottom. And by selecting all three at the same time, I can actually simply go in and add the animation at one time. So that's saving us time. You're not going in and click, animate. Select all of them because we want to do one animation for them. And after we select them, we are simply going to pick an animation, and that animation is going to go throughout all three elements. Quick and easy. So, like I said, when you click on the animation, it'll show you exactly how it's going to look. So let's get this preview in and see what we're looking at. Like I said, I like the preview because the preview kind of shows you where you're at. It shows you kind of what's going on and what it is going to look like in the end. So this is what we have. I think it's great. It's not too much. There are plenty of other elements that you can add to it, but this is just some of the basic elements that you can add to any template to upgrade it to a nice video, make your friends be like, ooh, she doing something, and you can also do the animate button with any basic template that is not a video. You can do that as well. You would simply just hit animate, and you would do the same way where we went through and animated each element, or you can animate the page. They will let you animate the whole page. So it will be as simple as downloading it.